Hello everybody, this is Cesar, and as promised, here I come with the detailed review of the Epiphone Zenith Masterbilt, the things I like, the things I dislike, because there are some. And by the way, I always play in the stores when I'm checking an acoustic guitar, I always play Never Going Back Again, Fleetwood Mac, Lindsey Buckingham, which I think is one of the most underrated guitar players in the world, by the way, but anyway. I do it because it is in drop C and it helps me reading the upper part of the fretboard very well. I play it together with many other things, of course. So I'm gonna tell you what I like, I'm gonna tell you what I dislike, and now let's go with the review. Okay, so let me give you a general perspective of the instrument. There's the headstock with the traditional Epiphone motifs and characters, right? So you see the tuners, kind of vintage-ish. The nut is bone. The fretboard, which is a beautiful fretboard, is ebony with this perloid snowflakes, they call it, motifs, right? And the bridge over there is what they called ebonoid in Epiphone. I understand it's a synthetic material imitating ebony, kind of resin, right? It's a floating bridge and it adjusts very well, I have to say. The tailpiece is nickel aged, right? The top is solid spruce with the two F holes. And let me show you the back of the guitar and the sides. So as you see, the back has a beautiful flame to it. There is a laminated maple back. So are the sides. Sides are laminated too. We will talk later about solid versus laminated back and sides. It's beautifully flamed, but laminated, okay? Which, in my honest opinion, has nothing to do with the tone of the guitar, but that's my opinion, okay? So the haters, please proceed. I will tell you why I have that opinion. And the neck is a 5 pieces neck, mahogany and hard maple. And as you see, the tuners have these vintages, I like to call them Art Deco characters. And even the sticker with the serial number is like that. Let me show you. So there you go. You can see those beautiful Art Deco-ish characters. By the way, Miami is full of Art Deco. In Miami Beach, there's a district that is called the Art Deco district. I love architecture, so very nice buildings. Interesting district too, anyway, right? Let me show you the battery cavity. It's a 9 volts battery, the one you are gonna need. Let me open it for you. It is not easy to open the cavity. So you see there's only a way in which the battery fits here, because they have made it in a way that you cannot make a mistake with the positive and negative. This won't fit, you see, whilst this is the only way it will fit. Nice token. You plug your guitar here and not at the strap button like in most of the guitars. And those are the controls. The volume and the tone control, we will talk later about that. I like the quality of the electronics. We've been recording the whole week and I think it's really very good. But I have something to say about that and we will talk later about it, right? So all in all, a beautiful instrument and a very good value for money. All in all, I paid $350 at Guitar Center because it's second hand, totally new, as you see. And it scores brand new $7.99 at Sweetwater and the major retailers. The scale length is 25.5 inches. The nut width is 1.69 inches, 43 millimeters, right? And the neck shape is rounded C. It's a very, very chunky neck. It's like a baseball bat. I love that. For that type of guitar, I think it is absolutely ideal. One thing that you need to know is that the truss rod is a dual action truss rod. And I think that Gibson could perfectly learn from that, because those truss rods are much, much better than the single action truss rod. If you have to force bow in your neck, you can do it with a dual action truss rod. You can never do it with a single action truss rod. So another very good point for Epiphone in this guitar. And now let's talk about what I don't like. Well, so in general, a very nice guitar. It is not for everybody, right? First, it is a big guitar. It's an archtop, kind of traditional, so it's bigger than your traditional acoustic guitar. You need to take that in account. I don't dislike it, I'm comfortable with that, but you need to take it in account in case you decide to buy the guitar. The second is the neck shape. It's a C, really rounded. It's a very chunky neck. I love chunky necks because I am classically trained, but it is not for everybody either, right? It sounds beautifully, plays beautifully. The action, you can go to a very, very low action, which was a surprise to me because usually the archtops, are heavier in your hands, I would say, and this feels super smooth. One thing I really dislike, and I think they should put more attention to it, is the controls. You never know where you are. It's very difficult. I mean, it's even difficult to access to the controls, right? In a recording situation like the one we have had the past week with the people that were playing gypsy jazz, is fine because you have time to check your volumes, etc. But in a gigging situation, you never know where you are. There's no mark. It's difficult even to access to the controls. And then if you make a mistake with the volume, you are going to produce a lot of feedback because this guitar is a totally hollow guitar and it produces feedback. It even does here with my Kemper, right? So, I mean, it should cost nothing to the guys from Epiphone to put a more accessible control here and with a clear mark on where you are, a white kind of white numbers over there. The quality, again, of the piezo and the electronics is fine. I like it very much. I like the sounds, but this really, I don't like it, right? Other thing that could be better in the guitar, being honest, are the tuners, right? Okay, I understand the kind of vintage thing, etc. But sincerely speaking, those tuners, you need to adjust these screws here on top of each one of the pegs really very tight, because if not, it goes out of tune. Once you have tightened those screws, but really tighten them, right? Beyond the normal, I would say, it's fine. It never gets out of tune, but it takes somehow that additional effort, right? Those are the main things that I don't like about the guitar. But all in all, it's a great value for money, and depending on the music that you are gonna play, yeah, I think this is a very good option. I'm gonna keep it. For me, it's a keeper, right? Because I play all styles, and for finger picking, and for gypsy jazz and bluegrass, etc., this is a great guitar, right? But as I said, it's not for everybody. Now let's talk about the top, which is solid spruce, and the laminated sides and back of the guitar. When talking acoustics and classical guitars, there are people who dismiss totally the guitars that have laminated sides and back. That's an opinion, right? I respect everybody's opinion. Let me tell you a story, right? And I think I have mentioned that in one of my videos. I think in the one that I am showing you the Yamaha SG1820. In the second half of the 19th century, Antonio de Torres Jurado which is basically was considered the father and the best Spanish luthier of all times, right? It was a luthier that basically was crafting classical guitars and flamenco guitars. Well, he built a guitar, 1860, I think it is, right, over those years. That was a classical guitar with a solid top and cardboard, paper mache, sides and back, in order to demonstrate that the part of the guitar that really is the responsible of the sound, of the tone of the guitar, is the top. He wanted to demonstrate that the shape of the guitar and the material that the top was made of was the main contributor to the tone and the volume of the guitar. I really think he was very, very right? But that's my opinion. I don't think that sides and back are so important as is the top, and I really think the shape of the guitar, the way it's built, and the top of the guitar in acoustics, again, is the main responsible of the tone. So never, or the tone, the volume too, right? The projection of the guitar with the tone, right? Together with the tone. Don't dismiss guitars because the sides and back are laminated. It is a cheaper way of making music accessible to everybody without losing a good sound, good tone, and good volume in your guitars. I hope you have enjoyed the video. See you very soon in my next one as always. And please, in the meantime, play your guitars, have fun, and be good. Bye.